Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you so much for watching the Driver Side Chats. My name is Philip. I hope you're having a great day today. It is, it's not Friday. It is Tuesday, and it is the last day of the month, which means it's going to be a very busy and productive day. So I want to talk very, very briefly about baby steps 4 and 5. And because we're going over 2 baby steps, we're going to make it quick. Baby step number 5 is saving up for your child's education, which is a big deal. I'll tell you right now at this point, it has not had an effect on my life as far as my real world life experience, because I don't have kids yet. So I can't really give a whole lot of personal feedback on it. I do think it's a great thing to start saving for your child's education. Go ahead and getting just a head start on that. It always helps. I'd go with an ESA, an educational savings account. Look for one that can get you some good interest rates, so that way you're making the maximum for your investment there. So that's really going to cover the saving for college thing. And I'll be honest with you, baby step 5 or baby step 6 is kind of the same thing. I don't have a house, so it's not going to be as applicable for me. But there is a way that I'm going to try to apply it to my current life situation. So baby step 6 is paying off your home early, which for a lot of people can be a difficult thing. But the idea is that you just take whatever you've got over the top that you're not exactly spending or using for productivity, and put it towards the principal of your home. And it'll amaze you, especially if you start this early on, how quickly it'll knock down the term of your anticipated mortgage. So if you've got a 20-year term on a $120,000 loan, just a couple $100 a month will literally knock it off years. It's amazing how putting money towards the principal really does make a huge difference. So how does this affect me? Well, of course, at this point in time, we do not own our own home. We are saving for a home, and that's where I'm going to try to get some of this in for you. Here's the downside. We can't really build any equity right now in our situation, because right now we're renting an apartment, and not going to lie, the apartment rent's a little expensive. We live in a little bit of a nicer apartment, but it is a price that we were willing to pay, and we still continue to do so. But we take whatever we have over the top, and right now we're using it to save for a house. And it's not some great amount. We're not saving thousands and thousands of dollars at a rate of $1,000 a week. Unfortunately, we can't do that. But we are putting away a decent amount of our take-home pay to go towards our next home, or our first home, really. Last night we went and looked at one. We've looked at some in the past, and we're not in a hurry. So we don't have to have a house tomorrow, but we do have, we do have an open mind, and we're looking for homes. And for every month that goes by, we just get a little bit more money set aside that we can use either for a down payment, or if we have some costs that are going to be associated when we move in. There's a lot of things, and just depending on how the negotiations go, there's money sitting there for whatever we need. Now, I'll tell you, when you're saving up for a house, do consider there are closing costs. Do consider that there's going to be application fees. There's going to be attorney fees, things of that nature. And there could be costs associated with moving into the home, like movers expenses and such. There could be costs that you need to go ahead and plan for that are within the home itself. For example, the walls may need painting, or it might need a new roof. When you're buying the home, you do need to consider what you can negotiate. So you might let the seller pay the closing cost. In North Carolina, I think it's up to 3% that the seller can actually pay towards closing cost. Let me see here. In other cases, you might say, well, hey, the floor looks pretty bad. At this price, we'll buy the home if you put in a new floor, or allow $1,500 for a new floor, whatever. There's so much room for negotiations, and really the sky is the limit on the negotiating. It's just depending on what the seller is willing to do. So just keep that in mind, but do keep that in mind that you know, when you go to buy a home, the price you're willing to pay, you may want to reserve a little bit of money for the closing cost or for things that could come up, like for example new carpet or any kind of maintenance work. But that's how it's affected me, just knowing that there's to try to pay it off as soon as possible. We're putting in efforts to you know, just to try to have a lot of equity going into the home itself. Now I do want to point this out. Dave does recommend putting 20% bare minimum down, and I think that's a great thing. However, I think you need to judge the circumstances. For example, let's just say that you're budgeting, you know, for a $1,000 a month payment. Okay, and that's going to include your taxes and insurance. And that's, you know, the out the door monthly payment. Well, let's say that you can find yourself a house that you can just get a real steal on, okay? And like you're able to, I mean, you're getting like 10% off the selling price. I mean, I'm just throwing stuff out, okay? I don't know. And your payment comes out to, with no money down, you know, you're able to get it for the same price, for the same $1,000 a month, but you were planning on putting $15,000 down or something. I don't know. You know, just follow along here. Well, you know, if you still get the same payment, you know, one thing you can do is you can take that 15 grand you were planning on putting down, or however much it was, and put that towards the principal. And even though you'll still have that same payment, you were planning that payment, but now all of a sudden you've knocked off, I don't know what 15 grand would do to such a huge mortgage. I know it would do a huge number on it, but you know, just a thought. Just be careful, be mindful about that, what you stand to be able to put down, and you know what you could save. Just look over your numbers, you know, plan around your budget, and you know, just kind of think through it. Don't haste through it. Okay, so anyway, that's about all the advice I know to really give on buying the home and paying it off early, and then of course also with savings for education in the future for your kids. You know, just some things to think about. But I may or may not get another video out this week. This weekend's our anniversary and we're going to be going out of town, so I may put one up. I probably will on either tomorrow or Thursday, but we'll see. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.